Global aggregator of crypto exchanges, CoinSwitch Kuber is India's second crypto unicorn and is working to create an ecosystem where money is equal for all. With crypto as part of solution, the company also plans to diversify its offerings and sees a new revolution in making. In the latest dispatch of Meet the Unicorn, we speak with Ashish Singhal, founder and CEO of CoinSwitch, to understand more about the crypto market, the company, and how in fact they're diversifying to becoming a wealth tech company. Hello and a very warm welcome to everybody. I am Shrija Agrawal and you're watching our show Mint Meet the Unicorns. We have a very interesting founder today. The sector is actually in the middle of a great regtech storm in the country. People are debating how well can the sector be regulated, but that apart, they have not necessarily stopped innovating. And forget that, the company has actually reached the unicorn mark in a very short span of time. Please help me welcome Ashish Singhal, the CEO and co-founder of CoinSwitch Kuber.
Thanks, Shrija, for inviting me.
Ashish, my first question to you, and let's begin with on a sort of a very soft and just begin from the beginning. Tell us a little about your background. We got chatting before
Sure.
this interview, and you told me a little about the fact that Shrija, I don't necessarily care what people talk about the small town, the big town conversation. I'm a mated boy been very good at studies, and this is how. And perhaps you also said that you also won every hackathon in the country, literally you name it and you guys were there, and that's how the entire idea of CoinSwitch started. Tell us a little about that, really.
Sure, sure. So just to touch upon a little of my background, comes from Meerut. Uh, did my schooling there, went to NSIT Delhi for my computer science graduation, joined Amazon right at that, met Vimal and Govind during that time, who are the co-founders of CoinSwitch today. So we've been friends for over 14 years. Uh, had a very pretty interesting stint at Amazon, learned a lot of their core values, really understood what they mean and what they mean for a company to grow. Uh, Worked lucky enough to be worked in three Jeff B teams. So Jeff B teams, if you don't know, Jeff Bezos himself picked like 20 people out of Amazon, put them in a room and give them an almost impossible task to do. And I was leading one of those teams for him, which was Amazon Prime Now, which is their 1 hour delivery service. Before the 1 hour delivery service was a norm, that was Amazon was innovating that in 2014 in New York, and I was leading that team. And we did a pretty successful launch. Now it's in over 58 cities, 8 countries, that service. So pretty exciting journey at Amazon. Started my company, Urban Tailor, after Amazon, which was, helping to create custom fit clothing for India. Failed in that, joined Livespace, and then started CoinSwitch in 2017. Bit different background from the corporate ones that you just heard is that we are hackers, all three of us. Any hackathon that you can think of in India, be it Sequoia hack, Google Code for India, LinkedIn hack, we would have won it. And the idea of CoinSearch actually started as a hack, which later grew to what it is today. Right. So yeah. So that's my background.
That is very, very impressive. I must say this in the sense that what I gather is that at the heart, you're essentially a tech guy.
Yeah.
That's the language you understand, that's the language you breathe in. So tell me one thing, Ashish. You spoke about the fact that you held such coveted position in what is the world's largest tech company, Amazon, right now. And Amazon is supposed to be a company which has always talked about thinking long and actually institutionalizing long term, 100 years old,
Yeah.
200 years old. That's how the company wants to build itself. You are building a cryptocurrency organization, CoinSwitch Kuber in its current form. How long term can you think you will be? Can this be an institution
So
which can
yeah.
last for 50 years, given what all we are seeing in the country right now?
Absolutely. And let me tell you first another principle of Amazon, which this company was founded on. And then we'll come to the second principle of thinking long term, right? First is customer obsession. As long as you're solving users' need, you will succeed. And that is the long term plan, right? So, user have a need today, solve that. And then they will have a need tomorrow, solve that, and keep on solving that. And that's how your business grows. That's how Amazon has become so big because they never shied away from solving user problem, going to the depth of it, and then solving it for the user. Similarly, CoinSwitch stands on the same principles as well: customer obsession. We started as a hack, like I said, and we were our own users. Grew internationally. Within a month, we were doing $1 million GMV a day. In 2017 till 2020, even Microsoft was using our services at one point in time. Saw an opportunity in India, realized that the gap in India of a retail user investing into crypto was there. Today, a user who is used to the experience of Swiggy, uh, Amazon one-click ordering, or one-click cab booking was forced to go to an exchange, understand complicated graphs, complicated order books to get into crypto. And that's how CoinSwitch originated. Can we simplify that experience with a click of a button? And Kuber kind of grew up in the last 16 months, which we'll talk about a little later. But the idea is that we have never shied away from solving user problems. When we have identified a big problem, we keep on solving it. Today, the problem that we are most excited about and why we think CoinSwitch would exist for the next 50 years is the wealthtech problem. Today, less than 1% of India invest beyond fixed deposits, right? And that is the problem that we want to solve. We want to tell people that in order to grow in your life, earning more is not enough. Growing your money is equally important. And in the next 4 years, we want to get to 100 million user base in India who is investing beyond fixed deposits and maybe go beyond that as we grow in our journey, right? So our goals have always changed as we have built this company. And that comes from a same principle from Amazon, which is customer obsession. Keep on recognizing customer problem, keep on solving them. And that is where you don't think about what is my problem for the next 4 years. You start to think about bigger and better problems over time.
But tell me one thing, Ashish. What problem do I have in my life if I don't invest in crypto, anyways? How is the world not a better place
Yeah,
if I don't invest in crypto? I understand your argument on wealth tech,
yeah.
that perhaps you are stimulating people to go beyond fixed deposits. But that's a
Yeah.
problem statement for which there are thousand and more companies out there. As of now, in your current avatar, you are a cryptocurrency focused wealth tech
Yeah.
organization. If I'm not putting some bit of my money in crypto, what really am I losing out anyways?
You may or may not be losing out. The idea is that crypto is an asset class which is high risk, high reward. Crypto is the new internet. You may believe in it, you may invest in it, you may not invest in it. And only future will tell whether you would have missed out or not, right? But today, that is an opportunity that lies ahead of the users. Today, they are investing in fixed deposits, stocks, mutual fund, and these problems are solved to an extent in the market. Investment was the problem which was unsolved in this industry, and we come with that expertise itself. We are not saying that crypto is right for every single individual out there, but we are saying that it is a new asset class in the making, a risky asset class, yet a rewarding asset class for the future, because that's where the future of internet lies. You would have heard about metaverse from Facebook, Microsoft, which are pouring billions of dollars into the new digital ecosystem that they're building, and they would be building it on blockchain and crypto itself, right? So the next revolution of of the digital world would come from the crypto ecosystem itself, right? And the investment that you're making today, obviously risky, but it can be rewarding as well if this becomes the next internet itself. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bridge the gap today in the investment ecosystem of the crypto investment, enabling people to get exposure to the crypto ecosystem if they feel it is right for them.
You use three kind of sort of thought processes here. First, you said that crypto is an asset class, not necessarily suited for everybody. And third, you said that what you're really building on is a blockchain crypto technology, which you labeled as future of internet. Now let's get on to all three of it one by one.
Sure.
First, let's pick up this entire thing of it is not suited for everyone. So, who is it suited for? If I'm a salaried individual who swears by my hard earned money, earning, say, a lakh a month, would you advise me to park some bit of my money in crypto?
So let me rephrase this statement. When I say it's not suited for everyone, actually it is suited for everyone, but it is based on your risk appetite. If your risk appetite is zero, then obviously you should not put your money into crypto. But as we have seen, your risk appetite may reduce over time. When you're young, your risk appetite is higher. And as you go along in your journey, you say get married, have children, you can't take the risk that you used to take before. And that is why your risk appetite reduces. So your quanta of investment in crypto overall may reduce, right? So the idea is that if you want to create a better portfolio which is not risk averse, which take a bit of risk, take a bit of safety in fixed deposit, take a bit of safety in mutual fund, take a bit of risk in stocks, and take a higher set of risk in crypto. That's how you should build your portfolio. At least 5 to 6% of your investment should start flowing into crypto based on your risk appetite, which can give you a higher return over the period of time as this industry grows. This industry is a very nascent state. Anything can happen. A regulation today can wipe out the money that you invested in, or an innovation today like metaverse could make it multiple times as well, right? So this is a capital that you are investing into the crypto ecosystem. So it is good for everyone, but now everyone has to figure out the answer for themselves. What is the risk appetite they have? How much is the risk capital that they want to put into crypto?
At a time when you're doing this investor education around crypto, which I think you must have raised a chunk of funding for, because there's a lot of education that needs to happen around this new asset class, which you yourself said is at a very nascent stage. How much is it a push strategy to say that crypto is good for you? Are you telling people the risks and rewards truly associated with it? Why should I be convinced that crypto is good for me in the first place?
So first of all, you should not be convinced that crypto is good for you. You should start by knowing what crypto is. What we want to say is it doesn't matter it is good or bad, but this could be the future of the internet itself. And you should not miss out. You should learn about it. If you feel that you get convinced with the argument, you should invest in the future, in that future as well, which you see yourself. If you just want to be on the sidelines, you want to see how this evolves before you put your money, you're welcome to do that. And if you are a skeptic, that's also fine. But please learn about what is happening, right? We already missed out on the internet 1.0, right? We should not want to miss out on internet 2.0, the web 3.0, right? So this is what we are trying to say, and this is where a lot of our effort goes into educating the users that it is beyond investment. Investment is a part of it. First look at what this ecosystem may end up creating. If you believe in it, then that's where the opportunity of investment lies.
So, what can this ecosystem end up create? What is the Web
Sure,
2.0 or 3.0 that you're speaking about?
sure. So
Convince me
currently we
how
live in a
you
web 2. Yeah, please. Yes. So currently we live in a web 2.0 where, if you look at India being the next, if so let me take a step back, right? So say you want to launch a business today. You want to launch this podcast on a website. What you would do, you would build a website, host it on Amazon, pay Google, Facebook, for spreading the word out and creating awareness about your podcast, right? So 70% of your revenue would actually go to the companies which were built in the internet 1 or the web 2.0 era itself, right? So India being the net importer of the technology today, what is happening with the crypto ecosystem? Crypto is kind of redefining the way these industries are built. Today, Ethereum is solving what probably AWS has solved already in the market, but in a decentralized way. And if we are the ones who are building these ecosystems, then the West and the world would be using this technology and the money would come to India. It would be built in India by Indians for the global world itself. Today, Sundar Pichai or Satya Nadella as Indians runs these big corporations, but we have the way now to build these organizations, not just run these organizations as well, right? And that's what crypto offers, and that's why we are so excited about the crypto ecosystem.
so can you just give me that example that you just told me that
Yes,
suppose I were to create a website and put this podcast on it. So how does the blockchain technology really come to the picture for the Web
sure,
3.0?
sure, sure. So in Web 1.0, what would happen is if you want to launch a website, you would first order servers, build a server farm at your house or your office, host your website to be connected to the internet. In Web 2.0, Amazon said, "Oh, why are you doing it? Let me do it for the entire world. Let me build that infrastructure for you and give you an ability to host your website on my servers," right? That is Web 2.0. What is happening now is we are creating these ecosystems which are decentralized. So now your computer, my computer can connect together when it is not, doing heavy lifting. It can be part of a network, which is now creating one of the biggest scalable infrastructure around the world. And when my website gets hosted, it is actually getting hosted in millions of these computers all around the world. on the network of Ethereum itself. And every computer which is part of this network, which is helping me serve traffic to your website, is actually getting incentivized to be part of this network itself. So that is the new revolution which is happening, which is decentralized. Now, Amazon cannot dictate who can use its servers, how they can use its servers. It's the network and it's the capability of the network which will define how the new age internet companies would be built for the future.
Thanks for that, Ashish. So you spoke about the Web 3.0 and you said that the conversation perhaps should really go beyond the crypto and talk about the Web
Yeah,
3.0. But let's spend some minutes really on the crypto conversation because that really is the premise on which you are right now, largely your
sure.
wealth tech organization. While crypto has a lot of these Gen Z users which seem to be into it, the reality also seems to be the fact that you don't have old age ambassadors. And that is perhaps the biggest drawback of cryptocurrency as a narrative. Why don't we have a Rakesh Jhunjhunwala coming on the screen and saying crypto is great? In fact, Warren Buffett, who is the best considered in the investment
Mhm.
world, has been one of the hardened critiques of the crypto analogy and said that
Sure.
Bitcoin can actually be called as a probably rat poison squared. So when you have these kind of strong voices coming in from who are considered the investment gurus, what really are
Mhm.
we building on, honestly?
Sure.
An investment
Sure.
asset class which does not really have validation from the investment gurus.
So it would be wrong to characterize it this way. If you pick few people out of the ecosystem who do not support it, because they do not support it because probably they do not understand it. Do we know, are they, do they have the correct understanding of what blockchain and crypto ecosystem are, right? People like Jeff Bezos, people like Winklevoss brothers, even Mark Zuckerberg, Satya Nadella. Why don't we take example of these folks? These are amazing folks, are building big companies and are supporters of crypto, right? So I would say it is a mischaracterization in itself that we pick people who are against it and then say first convince them, then I will get convinced. There always would be two sides of the argument, right? Internet is good for someone, internet is bad for someone as well. When internet started, these were the same arguments as well. Some people would be for it, some people would be against it. Some people would say that internet would only boost the negative side of the economy itself, but today that is the life that we live in, right? And it has changed the way we interact with things, we do things today, right? That is the same promise which Web 3.0 comes with. I'm not saying that that promise would get fulfilled. Maybe the people who are against it are right in some sense, but there are a lot of positive energy on that as well. Today a lot of big personalities, big people support crypto, building on crypto, accepting crypto as a way of payment, right? So we can't simply negate what is happening on the positive side and only choose the negatives to say that this industry is bad, right? This industry could be
I'm
good
not
or bad,
choosing
is
the
what we
negative.
make of it together.
I'm not choosing the negative. But
Yeah,
ultimately, the thing
sure.
is, you're building a large organization, Ashish, and there are many like you in the cryptocurrency space. The thing is that none of you have been able to convince these large voices which are coming and perhaps making very strong negative strides against crypto as an asset class. You have Warren Buffett, then you have Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and these are big voices. You can't discount them either. The kind of support you seem to be getting is you're definitely getting from the technology industry, the hardcore techno rats, people who perhaps eat, sleep, think like you. But the investment asset class is not necessarily buying it, the traditional
Sure.
investment pool of capital. And that is where the
Sure.
disconnect is. Don't you think so?
I definitely think so, Shija, and I'm not probably trying to say that you are pointing these out. I'm saying that this is how the world also thinks, right? And you are representing that part of the thinking as well. So what I'm trying to correct here is that there would be always two side of the argument. Because you are a technologist, you understand this technology, and that is why you're able to see through what it can achieve. It definitely has flaws as well. Nobody is denying the flaws that it has, right? But because they are too deep and they understand the technology, that is why they are the supporters of it. Whether we would be able to tell this to every single individual before we create it as an asset class, probably not. Some people will still say that Paytm IPO is not good or a Nika IPO is not good. Are we saying that the IPO which are happening are bad? Probably not, right? That is promoting the industry forward itself, right? So there would be supporters of it and there would not be so many supporters of it in some way or the other. You never have to convince 100% of the people to do the right thing, right? You have to see where the word is moving, how the word is moving toward that direction, and who are the people who are actually building, are supporting this tech or not, right? Over time, I believe that these naysayers would get convinced as well, or probably we would learn the point that probably they are trying to make, which we are not able to understand. So it's not in my power to make everyone in the world, or it's not in the power of just a few to make everyone in the world understand. We can only make our arguments. What a person learns or not learns is up to him, right? And we are open as well. We are not saying that crypto is the solution for everything. We are open as well that it has flaws. What Warren Buffett says, some of the things make sense, and we as an industry need to address it if we want to make it the next internet itself.
I think let's agree to disagree. I understand your approach, and I think you are going for the balanced approach, and I completely understand and empathize where you're coming from, because it is not easy to build a company which you are in. You are battling regulatory challenges, you're battling major perception issues. So, we spoke about the perception issues and we spent quite a bit of time on that. And what all you said comes across being real. I'm not really sure that how much of that argument in the real sense, in the real world right now, is making impact though. But let's really talk about the regulatory challenges. There seems to be a constant slugfest between the community that you represent, the entrepreneur community, and the regulatory community on this entire decentralization of finance conversation. Now, this is a very big potential risk to the business that you're building. Everything can change overnight. So, how really are you battling those risks or those concerns?
Sure. Uh, so I think we are the believers on it. So every startup is a risk to start with, right? And we have the risk on the higher side, which is totally fine, because the opportunity that lies ahead of us is much larger as well. If we could be the custodians of this new internet, the value of the company, what we are building, and what some amazing smartest folks at the company building would be tremendous. The amount of innovations that we do at this company would be game changing in itself, and with that room for innovation comes the risk as well, which we on as entrepreneurs, as employees of CoinSwitch, take on every single day. But coming to your point of regulation uncertainty, right? I think that is the path that almost every country has gone through when it comes to crypto. If you look at US, UK, even Singapore has gone through the same cycles as well. And what we are going through in India is nothing unique, right? It's a new technology where people needs to learn what this is and figure out, is it right for them, right for their economy, and how can we promote the pros of it and how can we suppress the cons of it, right? So rules, the rules of the land need to evolve to be able to support that ecosystem in a way which works for the users, for the innovators, and for the governments alike. We cannot succeed if we do not build that infrastructure today. So there has to be a pull and push between regulators and innovators, because innovators would always try to push the boundary, and regulators would also keep checks and balances, making sure that users at any cost are protected in this ecosystem, right? So I think that is where we are today. That is the pull and push that we are today, and government is trying to engage with the crypto ecosystem, trying to learn what we think the future could be, and telling us their point of view as well, and where they see risk in itself. And we together need to come and create those policies which kind of negate the cons and kind of promote the pros of this ecosystem. Because there is
Tell
risk
me,
doesn't mean we shut down the industry. What it means is we come together, de-risk this industry and build for the future.
tell me one thing, Ashish. You're basically talking about the fact that there has to be a middle point where the innovators and the regulators have to meet up. The complete ban is no solution because technology will always innovate faster than how much regulation is. A technology and regulation can't really catch up always. My point really to you is that do you really think that crypto is the future of money?
If it wasn't the case, I wouldn't be sitting here, right? And we as a company has a single vision, which is making money equal for all. We are not saying crypto is the only solution. Traditional finance work amazingly well, and that is why we want to go as a company beyond crypto in itself and creating a wealth tech startup rather than just a crypto startup. But we do believe that crypto has a lot of valid points which can be merged through the traditional finance which we have today, and can build a better economy in itself, a better ecosystem where, like a even in a remote village, if a farmer wants to have a loan, a microfinancing loan, a bank has no incentive to build a bank branch in a place where they know that they'll not get the profit. But how can we link a bank infrastructure to the crypto ecosystem and create an environment where that farmer can still take a microfinance loans with just a mobile phone and the internet, right? So it's the new revolution in the making, which needs to be built together. We are not saying that if crypto comes in, banks has to shut down. We are saying banks need to innovate and adopt this technology as well if we were to create the impact that we all think, the digital first India that we want to make in the next 5 years.
So you are definitely completely rooting for the fact that crypto is the future of money. I think the jury is still out on that one. I'm not necessarily a believer, and I'm not necessarily the one who can check that box. I do believe in DeFi as a technology, blockchain as a technology, but I don't think I am in that space yet to go as far to actually label crypto as the future of money.
Sure.
I don't see that happening in the near future too, because India being the complex country that we are, there are a lot of nuances and finer nuances that we're talking about here, especially when it leads to money. My second question to you really is that when you said that, Shrija, we are not necessarily a crypto startup, but going beyond that. So somewhere you are also hedging your risk because it comes to regulatory. You are in the middle of the regulatory quagmire. You're in the middle of the eye of the regulator. So you don't necessarily want to be a crypto company, but a large wealth tech company, and you have raised money for that. So you're also hedging your risk in a way. One can say that.
One can say anything that they want to, and what I would say is, if Amazon was building AWS, did they say that, oh, we are going away from e-commerce and AWS is the business that we see? No, it sees that what is the user problem that lies ahead of you, right? And try to expand your horizons. We see that we when we came into India, we saw that the crypto ecosystem was underserved, and that's what we focused on. We are not running away from crypto. Our company is crypto first. If crypto die, we die together, right? So it's not that we are hedging our risk, but what we are seeing is a bigger problem of investment in itself. Today, over 100 million users in India, 100 million people in India have more than 1 lakh rupees in their bank account, who are not hedging against inflation, who are not investing correctly and building their growth. We have all come from middle uh, uh, income families where we have all struggled for money all our life, right? Our fathers have slept thinking, how do I do better tomorrow to give a better future for my kids, right? And that is the people that we want to work with. Crypto is a part solution to that, is not the full solution. It is the risk capital which can help you grow, but it is risky, and we cannot offload all the risk. We don't want you to put all your money into crypto, and that is where wealth building comes into picture. Can we merge traditional finance with the crypto finance, give you exposure to the new world, but still make sure that you have a balanced portfolio which is taking the traditional finance with it, right? And can you create a better portfolio, and can I stand by you and help you invest into the ecosystem, be it a crypto, stock, mutual fund, US stocks, bonds, ETFs, whatever, right? Can I build that ecosystem? Can I bring that confidence on the table where you feel that I'm not alone in this journey? There is someone with me who can help me grow. I'm today, a lot of people don't invest because they feel the risk, right? They feel, what will happen if I lose all my hard earned money? Nobody is working for those people. HNIs have a lot of money, they can give it to Goldman Sachs, and Goldman Sachs can increase their returns on that. But there is no one out there who is working for these middle-aged families who are struggling every single day in order to grow their money. First they have to work 9 to 9 to earn that money, then they have to, in the rest of the time they're left with, they have to learn about finance and take risk by themselves, right? So how do we create a company which stand by you and help you invest in crypto, help you invest in stocks, help you invest in anything, and help you build a better portfolio to grow in your life, right? So the mission of the company, would change over time. The idea is that can we be that company to provide those opportunities for you? Some people can see it as that, oh, crypto is risky and that is why you're hedging it. That's absolutely fine, doesn't matter to us. But how we see it is that this is the bigger mission of the company. This is the problem that we are solving, and crypto is just a part of the solution.
You are contradicting yourself. You said we're crypto first, crypto dies, we die. Then you are saying the larger problem, the mission can change as the company evolves. So we're talking about evolution here, talking for you are beginning with one product, now you want to get multi-product. But tell me one thing, Ashish. If you are a wealth tech company, how are you different from the others out there? Then you are
Sure.
in a very similar space. I mean, there's Grow, there's Small Case, there's Cred. There are all of these wealth tech companies out there. And from a distance, they all look similar. They all talk the same language, customer obsession, technology is great. All of you have raised multi billion dollar rounds of funding. And do you think that ultimately the capital will decide the winner as it has in the e-commerce space?
Sure. So, Shrija, let me ask you one thing. How many users in total invest in India today in these companies? The answer is less than 1%. That means the problem is unsolved. So you may call us a competitor to these companies, but what we say is we are solving the problem. If these companies solve it better than us, then please do that. I would invest my money into through these startups in itself. But today, the problem is unsolved. A Grow or a Zerodha can give you a great experience when you know what you want to do in a when you know what stocks you want to buy, what mutual fund you want to buy. But today, a lot of people struggle to even get to that decision. They have money, but they don't know what to do with it. Even today, I have money in my bank, which is not hedging for inflation, but today
I
I
agree
also
with
do
you
not
on this
know
one.
what,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, this is a
So the
problem to
problem is
solve.
unsolved, right? So
Yeah.
it is about solving the problem. Whether it takes money, whether it takes effort, we will go ahead and do it. And by the way, we are a profitable company. So raising money is not about just throwing money in the market and just growing. It is about solving the problem. To solve a problem, you have to invest. Think of us, think of the fund that we have raised as an investment in our team, investment in ourselves to be able to solve this problem.
Let's talk about the company a little, Ashish. I think we have had a very interesting conversation a Saturday afternoon, knowing a lot about the industry. And it's good to have such conversation which bring forth different ideas and conflicting ideas. That is what makes the conversation enriching. CoinSwitch Kuber, first of all, did you actually imagine you'll become a unicorn so soon? Wow.
Not at all. So our target for the first 6 months was 100,000 users, and within the first 6 months we had 2 million users. Right. So we never imagined this to happen. All this to happen so quickly. We knew that the problem was big and we needed to solve it. We never focused on valuations, fundraise, or anything else that comes with it. We always focused on solving users' need, and even if we are a unicorn or not a unicorn today doesn't matter, to be honest, that much to us. What matters to us is the problem solved, and we feel that we are just probably 5% into solving the problem, and there is a bigger journey that lies ahead of us.
So, what goes ahead for you in the value creation journey? Where do you go from here?
So I think our next target is 100 million users, right? How do we get 100 million users invested into the ecosystem who feel that now they have a way to grow their money as well, right? Being crypto first and adopting the traditional finance and merging it with the new finance that we are seeing through crypto, right? So that is the objective of the company. Can we create a wealth tech company which works for everyone? And getting a validation for this would be that if we are able to expand the investment market in itself in India from 25 million, what it sits today, to 100 million market.
Tell me one thing, Ashish. You said a wealth tech company that works for everyone. So, who is your target audience? Is your target audience someone like me? Is your target audience my mother who is in Patna? Is your target audience my brother who works in Bangalore? Who is your target audience?
So ultimately, we have to solve problem for everyone, right? But today, how we are starting our journey is we see that the young generation is the one who is getting into a framework of investing. They are earning their first bucks. then they're learning about investment, and then as they evolve in their life, their journey would evolve as well. Today, they are crypto first because that is the technology that they believe in. That is what they see their peers doing, and that is the thing that they are most excited about. But over time, they understand the risk in this ecosystem as well. And over time, they would want to diversify. They would want to choose stocks as well, choose mutual funds as well, have do tax savings as well, do fixed deposits as well, a part of their education. So the journey that we are taking is the journey that our users are taking on our platform today. Almost 60% of our users are less than 28 years of age, are the Gen Z population. And as they grow in their journey, we want to grow as a company with them, helping them along the way and solving the problems for them, solving the problem of investment for them, right? And hopefully along the way we would have solved all the other problems as well, even for your mother, even for my mother. My parents would be able to invest as well through CoinSwitch.
Okay. Key challenges that you are battling, Ashish, while you're growing up with the organization. We spoke about the two. One is, of course, the regulatory, and another is a perception challenge. What is the big challenge that you see in terms of margins, in terms of competition, in terms of attracting new user base? Are these challenges being posed to you, and how are you really solving for them?
I think what has happened in the fintech industry is that earlier, it used to be offline. Now it has just come online. But a lot of innovation is yet to be seen in the space. So all the talk about margins, profitability is yet to be discovered in the space, right? And that is why we are so excited about fintech, because we feel that it's an open playground for us to innovate, to build better models. Earlier, the cab company used to charge per kilometer, and that was the only model that was known to the world. But how Uber and Ola innovated on that field and kind of changed the game altogether. And we believe that is our next challenge in creating that innovation, fueling that innovation in fintech, where we are right beside our user. If you make money, only then I make money. You can trust me because my incentive and your incentives are aligned. Today, a lot of people, like 20% of the people goes for LIC today, and they ultimately end up, I'm not saying LIC is bad, but I'm saying LIC is probably not the best product that you should be investing in early in your life, right? So that is where these information need to go to the users. They need to feel that these companies are working alongside them rather than trying to make money off, right? Why don't you give your money to the bank for investment? Because you always fear whether bank is taking the right calls. Is bank investing in a say a mutual fund which is paying more to them, or are they investing because that will grow the best, right? So I think solving these basic challenges of trust and innovating in this field, innovating new models, helping users throughout their journey while earning their trust and growing alongside your users. I think this is something that we are really, really excited about, and this is the biggest challenge in this space because it's an unknown. Right? We know what an ideal solution looks like, but how to get there is a big, big journey that we have to take.
And I have to ask you this, and I think we're going to the end of the conversation. Really, how are companies like yours will be valued? Traditional finance says the rule book is about under assets under management for a wealth tech or asset manager, or is it would be number of users? How is it? Or the playbook has been appended because there's just too much capital throwing around there.
I think it's not the case. I think investors are smart as well, and they're judging the right companies. Obviously, you can say that Tesla doesn't make as many cars as GM does. Why is it valued more than GM? But it is also about the future of it, right? You don't look at the current numbers. You also look at the opportunity that lies ahead of you, and you rank a company based on that. So investors who are pouring in money into these ecosystems are amazing folks as well, who have built the companies like Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube, and etc. Right? So like we are very proud to have Anderson Horowitz and CoinSwitch being their first in ever India investment because they see that value in us. They have backed amazing fintech companies and they see something similar building through CoinSwitch. We may or may not succeed, but I think this is the bet that they have taken, and they've judged us again few qualities. I would just add 2 points to it. One is that we believe the value of any company as a wealth tech company going forward would be wallet share and mind share, right? When you think about investment, what do you think about? Which company do you think about? If you can become that, take that mind share of user and help user, help gain trust from the user and help grow that user's money, you would win. And as you try to work for the user, more and more money of that user would start investing through you. So I think these would be the two metric that would matter the most as we build the wealth tech in India.
And these are nice words, mind share and wallet share. But how do you assign numbers to it? Or is it again the same old statement, the value lies in the eyes of the beholder?
Value to the extent lies in the eyes of beholder, but there is a proper math to it as well. When your salary comes in and you are looking at investment, which is the app you are opening, that is the mind share number, right? So how many monthly traded users or active invested users you have on your platform clearly dictates the mind share part of the ecosystem. Then the wealth part, the wallet share part, tells you how many ecosystems does a user is investing in through your application. Is he only using you for crypto? Is he using it for crypto and stocks? Is it using for crypto, stocks, and mutual fund? And that is the wallet share, and that is the trust angle as well. That does he trust only you only for one asset class, or does he trust you as an investment platform and invest irrespective of the classes onto you, right? So I think that is the second part of AUM, which would be a metric to measure.
And what really are your mind share and wallet share numbers, if you can share that with us?
Sure. So today we have over 2.5 active invested users onto the platform. Obviously, definition of active invested is much deeper into our ecosystem, where a user is opening at least 6 times our application per day and spending at least 4 minutes per session on our application is what we call an active invested user. We obviously have an invested base which is much higher than this. Our monthly active users are about 7 million. I think these are the two numbers that matters most to us.
Okay, my last question to you, and it's play a little bit of a quick rapid fire. How did you really feel when you raised money from Anderson Horowitz? Give us some background of how this entire thing come together.
Sure. I think how I would put this feeling is a kid getting his first ice cream is the kind of feeling that I got when we finally got Anderson Horowitz to invest in us. I'll tell you a story about it. It'll take a minute, but uh, when I started my journey in Amazon, right? So in 2012, I read Hard Things About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, and I think that kind of changed my life. I always wanted to build something on my own, but I never understood the challenges that you go through while building. And once I read that, I kind of I got prepared for that journey. I started reading more, following Mark Anderson as well, reading his blogs, which kind of gave me an insight into a startup without actually starting up. So they are my mentors from way early. And getting them and they sitting across the table and telling that, Ashish, you and your team has done an amazing job, and we are investing in you, and you are the first Indian company that we are making a bet on, is a real privilege, to say the least.
Okay, now how does it actually come together? Was it brokered by a investment banker, or it was proprietary?
No, it was direct. So Mark knew about us because obviously they are very close to Coinbase, and we work closely with Coinbase and knew Brian, Emily, Sean for a long time now. And I think they through them, because Mark sits on the board, Emily sits on the board, they knew about us in what we were doing in India, and we kind of reached out, and within a couple of meetings, they already knew most of the things about us. So it didn't took a lot of time for us to convince them to invest in us.
Okay, my last question to you, Ashish. What would be your advice to be somebody who is starting out a wealth tech company in India now? Perhaps a niche wealth tech company, wealth tech platform. What the key areas one has to really think about?
I think innovation is obviously, the first thing that comes to mind. But one mantra that I've lived my life on may help you as well, which is, uh, always be prepared for failure, but optimize for success, right? So a lot of us don't take the first steps toward any journey because we feel afraid. What will happen? Right? What if I fail? What will happen to me, my family, and others? Right? So I think this fear is what stops us most of the time. But if you rationalize this, if you think that, okay, I would have failed, what is the worst that would happen? It won't look too big in itself. and most of the times you would be able to go across, take those challenges head on, right? So optimize for success but be prepared for failure is something that I tell everyone, that's how I live my life, and maybe it is helpful for someone out there as well.
Thanks, Ashish. It was lovely talking to you and pretty interesting conversation on a Saturday afternoon. A lot of ideas came to the table and really talking to an entrepreneur gave some real insights. Thank you for that, Ashish. Let me see you next. Goodbye and good luck and just stay in touch. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Shrija. It was definitely an interesting talk. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.